Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by Flurry Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Brunner and the rest of the Flurry Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, you guys? I had the time today, and big news happens, right? So big news in the fantasy football world happens, so I figured I'd hop on without giving it much thought yet and talking through my thought process and talking about the Brian Robinson trade to the San Francisco 49ers and obviously the impacts on both the San Francisco backfield, the Washington backfield, and there's going to be updates coming to my rankings, obviously, and only people who have the draft kit can get it. So if you haven't yet, let's just do this right off the top. If you want to win one of these babies, don't come free. You got to earn it. Become a member at buymeacoffee.com/Zach Brunner. That's just my name, ZachBrunner. And that's $5 a month, $35 for a full year, which means you would get the draft kit this year. You would get the draft kit next year. That's the best deal because members also get sortable data files for the draft kit. You also get in-season data. You get access to a group chat with me to ask questions. You can add comments in terms of what topics you want covered in articles, in videos. You get to decide what you want to see. All kinds of good stuff. It's a 32-page draft kit, boys and girls. It is the most expansive draft kit you can get right now for the price, $5 a month, or if you just want the PDF version, it is $10 flat. So go get the draft kit. If you're on YouTube, link in the description as well. I will talk about this again at the end, but obviously there is going to be a rankings update. Actually, let me show you this draft kit because just the cover, it's beautiful. Where do we got it here? Is it here? Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Whoops. Let's look at it again. Fantasy football draft kit, the award-winning. You're right. Look at this. Look at the top. You have to earn these badges as well. Look at this. We got top 10 for draft accuracy last year, top 10 for in-season accuracy last year, top 5 for running backs, top 5 wide receivers. I don't know. Are those positions important? You tell me. You tell me, because this is what we do here. We are going to absolutely kill the season yet again. If you want to win yourself one of these or one of those back there, where is my finger pointing? Look at that trophy. You got to get the draft kit. And I am here to help you. I am determined to help you win. And I think these little streams about news like this, I'd like to do these during the season as well. Probably Mondays. Stay tuned for that. But like we were saying last night, the main fantasy football show, I think we're going to be switching from Wednesday night to Thursday night. I think that makes more sense. I think we can answer more of your last-minute questions in terms of start sits before Thursday Night Football. We can talk a little bit more about DFS as well, maybe, in terms of maybe underdog picks for that game. But yes, this season, a lot of fantasy football content. So subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to Fantasy Football by Committee on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. Go to flurrysports.org. Lots of content to be had. Scan this QR code, buymeacoffee.com/Zach Brunner, gets you that draft kit. Look at that. Look at that belt. Just got this baby in the mail. Okay, so let's talk about the headline story here. If you have any questions, any comments, please let me know. And if I don't get to them right away, it's because I don't see the chat right away, because I am going to be in a different tab. But I will answer all questions and read all comments. So if you want to hear me say something stupid, write something stupid. Okay, let's take a look at this, though. So We have Brian Robinson Jr. trying to figure out how we want to do it. Let's just look at depth chart, I suppose. Brian Robinson Jr. gets traded to the San Francisco 49ers for a 6th-round pick, I do believe. And lots of questions come out about this. Prior to the trade, obviously his stock has been falling because of a couple younger running backs in Washington. Brian Robinson Jr. has been getting drafted running back 31, 801 in PPR 12-team leagues. So, would I draft him here? Very first takeaways. Absolutely not. Hopefully, if you are drafting this weekend, you can get some auto drafters to draft Brian Robinson at this spot. Obviously, he's not worth that. Jacory Croskey-Merritt. We will be talking about him a lot. Obviously, he has been the fantasy darling and the breakout player everyone has been hyping up in the preseason. He has been getting drafted running back 42. That is last pick in the 11th round in PPR 12-team leagues. And would I draft him there? Probably yes, but we'll get into more of that in a second. Do I think he immediately becomes an RB2 or a flex? I don't know. Not necessarily. Other relevant players here. Guerendo has been getting drafted running back 53. Obviously, he is now competing for that running back 2 job with one Brian Robinson Jr. This depth chart, very unofficial, obviously, has Brian Robinson Jr. above Guerendo, and I'm not willing to say that immediately either. Now, they 49ers traded for him. They obviously want him on the football team. That's why they went and got him. However, they really like Isaac Guerendo. Like, I feel like this is more of a insurance plan, a cheap insurance plan, both money-wise and what they gave up to get him, because they know this window for the San Francisco 49ers team as we know it has damn near been closed shut, if not has already been closed shut. But they have kind of one more chance to really go all in here before they may have to blow things up a little bit more. So I think Christian McCaffrey, I think he's healthy right now. I think he's looking really good. But what if something happens yet again? Would that be surprising for a 30-whatever-year-old running back to break down, especially after a major injury or lingering injury, whatever you would call last season? Would that be surprising? No. So I think they want to say, hey, if we lose Christian McCaffrey, we need to have more than Isaac Guerendo, because guess what? Last season, we lost Christian McCaffrey. We lost Jordan Mason. And then we were on Isaac Guerendo. And I think he got hurt at one point, maybe a little bit as well. And the Niners have been dealing with injuries anyways. You can see in red here. You got Brandon Ayuk, obviously, I think expected to start on PUP. They have more wide receiver injuries and stuff like that. Russell Gage, I think, is ready to come back for week 1, possibly. But this is a banged up football team. So I think this is more than anything just insurance plans. So with that being said, where do you draft the 49ers people? And then we'll shift our attention to Washington. What do we do about the San Francisco 49ers? Does this move the needle on Christian McCaffrey? In my opinion, absolutely not. If you were comfortable drafting Christian McCaffrey as running back 4, 7th pick in the first round, I've kind of been beating the drum for that. I'm sort of just back on the train with Christian McCaffrey and am very willing to draft him here. I think he is a tier 1 running back in PPR, so I'm more than happy to take him here. I don't think Brian Robinson Jr. moves him. You know what I mean? Brian Robinson Jr. lost his job to 2 different backup running backs, neither of which were named Austin Eckler. So I am not afraid of Christian McCaffrey losing any touches. This was not a move for Christian McCaffrey to lose touches. This is a move for insurance purposes. So, Christian McCaffrey, if you're comfortable there, by all means, keep drafting him right there. You can even draft him a little earlier if you want. I will say this is where I get frustrated as somebody who wants to draft Christian McCaffrey, though. I was drafting Christian McCaffrey and then thinking, hey, fine, I will reach for his handcuff in Guerendo, who is currently going as running back 53, mid to late 13th round in 12-team leagues. I am more than willing to draft Isaac Guerendo a little bit earlier because I know, hey, if McCaffrey goes down, I know how good Guerendo can be in this offense. And now That is not the case. Now we have Brian Robinson Jr. here as well. What does that mean for Brian Robinson Jr., Isaac Guerendo, and the running back 2 spot for the San Francisco 49ers? And I think this is a true competition. And the issue is, at least what we have seen mostly from San Francisco in the past when the starter goes down hurt, they're not really splitting from my memory. Like, I don't think they're really saying, okay, Christian McCaffrey's gone, let's go 50-50 Guerendo Robinson. They might do that right away just because they want to see who has the hot hand. But I don't think that's necessarily what they want to do. I think they want their running back to get into a rhythm. So now I'm sort of torn. Like, who do I draft? Brian Robinson Jr., Isaac Guerendo? And my answer, most likely, is pull a name out of a hat. I think they like Isaac Guerendo. I would not be surprised if Isaac Guerendo is the guy. I'm not using any worthwhile draft pick on either one of those players. I'm just not. If I want to draft somebody instead of a kicker right now, just in case Christian McCaffrey gets hurt before the season, it's not like we have not seen that before. So if I am getting Christian McCaffrey early, I'm probably not drafting a kicker at this current moment for this weekend heading into preseason week 3. And then I'm probably drafting the running back who goes later. I think Brian Robinson Jr. is going to be gone before the 13th round. And if that's the case, I will let whoever take Brian Robinson Jr. there, and I will stick with Isaac Guerendo in the 13th and the 14th, whatever. I assume in terms of ADP, Guerendo is going to be fully undrafted, would be my guess. But if I were to draft Brian Robinson Jr., I'm not drafting him earlier than what Isaac Guerendo's been going. Like I said, I don't think he takes snaps or carries really away from Christian McCaffrey. I could be completely wrong. Maybe they're really trying to monitor McCaffrey's workload. And even if that's the case, do I want Brian Robinson Jr. in a limited role? No. So I think he is firmly in this area down here. With that being said, like, would I want Tyler Algier or Brian Robinson Jr.? I want Algier. I want Braylon Allen. Jalen Wright's a little weird since he's banged up and we see Ollie Gordon getting touches. Monangai, he is getting worthwhile touches. Blake Corum is the clear handcuff there. Ray Davis is the clear handcuff there, and he's going to be getting touches. Where do you draft Brian Robinson Jr.? Probably, with the way this is laid out in terms of ADP, running back 58, this area, I don't care. Like, I don't think Brian Robinson Jr. is that good. So I don't care. And Guerendo, the only reason I would draft him ahead of these guys is if I have Christian McCaffrey. Without that, again, I would prefer to have a clear handcuff like a Blake Corum or a Ray Davis, possibly even a Will Shipley. I think he's very much better than A.J. Dillon there. So, yeah, the San Francisco backfield minus Christian McCaffrey, sort of a do not draft for me. What do I know? Just top 5 for running back rankings last year. Okay, so Washington. Why am I dumb? There we go. So, now, Washington, for all intents and purposes, just traded away their RB1 from last season, the early down running back, the guy who has been atop the depth chart even as early as 2 hours ago. What do we do now? Austin Eckler is still locked into his role. He is currently listed atop the depth chart. That's cool. That's fine. That's whatever. We know he's a third down guy. You know, he's a little bit of a change of pace. We know he's good for pass protection. He's obviously a phenomenal receiver. If he stays healthy, and I'll even say if he plays 15 games, that's missing 2, he's going to outperform his ADP. I know it's late. Yeah, he's getting drafted running back 36 in PPR. That's mid to late 9th round in 12-team leagues. If he's healthy, he's going to be catching passes and playing well. You know what I mean? Would I rather have him or Zach Charbonnet? I'd rather have Charbonnet. But I think Eckler is going to outperform his ADP as long as he stays healthy. Very big if, obviously. But that's not who people care about. We are wondering about Jacory Croskey-Merritt because he's the guy who's been getting all of the offseason hype, all of the preseason hype, despite really not playing very well in the actual preseason games. Obviously, backup offensive line a lot of times and stuff like that. But he's looked really good in camp. He was good in college. He just fell because of, I believe, health issues and not really getting to play this past season. So he fell. But this isn't an unknown guy. Like, people have been saying he was a good running back before. Washington just got a steal on him. So he's a good running back. Running back 42, last pick in the 11th round. And Dan Quinn was asked about a backup running back yesterday. Who is that backup running back? One that you do not see listed here. That is Chris Rodriguez Jr., who is a very good player. He has looked like the better of the two in the preseason games. And Dan Quinn really likes him as a short yardage or a goal line guy because of his ability to find space in small situations, get skinny, get through the line, pick up those short yardage. So what does that mean? That means what? Jacory Croskey-Merritt, best case scenario, is a split role between the 20s. That doesn't seem very good. That means his touchdown upside's pretty low, and he's still splitting carries. If that's the case, I don't love him. I would say he is a flex at best, at absolute best. And Chris Rodriguez, it sounds like he is going to be third in line for snaps between the 20s, but there's a decent chance he falls into the end zone, right? Because they want to use him down near the goal line. Cool. Great. That sounds like a very inconsistent player, someone who I really only want for best ball. So am I drafting Chris Rodriguez only with the very final pick in the draft? But I do think he has a large enough role to take away from Jacory Croskey-Merritt, Bill Croskey-Merritt, whatever you want to call him, which stinks, right? But then there's one other running back nobody's talking about. Literally nobody's talking about. And then maybe you can even consider two, because if we're talking about carries between the 20s, carries down near the goal line, Jaden Daniels is going to do that as well. Obviously, a mobile quarterback helps to open things up for the running back, so it is a pro, but it also we have seen very much with a Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley relationship that Hurts can take fantasy points right off Saquon Barkley's plate. Jaden Daniels can do the same for these running backs as well. So again, across the board, touchdown upside probably goes down a little bit as well. But there's one other player that is probably getting carries, I would only assume, right? Deebo Samuel. No one's really considering that Deebo Samuel is going to carry the ball some. So now we're talking about 5 people who have guaranteed carries. Guaranteed. Dan Quinn said they really want to use Chris Rodriguez down near the goal line in the red zone short yardage situations. We know Jacory Croskey-Merritt's been getting praise and probably for early down work. We know Austin Eckler is the most trusted running back here. He's going to be catching a lot of passes and probably be used down in the red zone as well, because then that makes them less predictable. And then we know Deebo Samuel is going to be used. They traded for him. They want this guy. He's going to be used all over the field, most likely in the backfield as well, because that's where he thrives. So 5 different players, including Jaden Daniels, are going to be carrying the ball on a consistent basis. I'm not saying Deebo Samuel is going to have a lot of carries. If he has 2 per game, that's something. I'm staying away. I don't need to go out of my way to get Jacory Croskey-Merritt, Bill Croskey-Merritt. And could that burn me? Absolutely. Absolutely. But to me, at this current moment, even without Brian Robinson Jr., he feels like a low ceiling, low floor player. And also, again, his stock dropped because of health. Okay, are we just going to thrust him into a big role after already being banged up this preseason as well? No. If there's a running back to own in Washington, it's Austin Eckler. If there are fantasy players to own in Washington, it's McLaurin, it's Deebo, it's Zach Ertz, Jaden Daniels, and Eckler. Is Bill Croskey-Merritt undraftable? Absolutely not. Is Chris Rodriguez undraftable? Probably, unless it's a 16-team league. or best ball. So where would I feel comfortable drafting Jacory Croskey-Merritt? Again, currently going 42, last pick in the 11th round. This is pre-Brian Robinson Jr. news. I would assume Bill Croskey-Merritt goes up at the very least to where Austin Eckler is. That's running back 36. That's the very least. Could he leap over Etienne, Judkins, Dobbins, Brian Robinson for sure? I think, yeah. Like, I would not be surprised if we see after this weekend, he jumps up into this low 20s or high 20s, low 30 range. And that is too rich for my blood. I'm not about it. I would feel comfortable drafting him amongst this area, which is a flex at best, right? Among the Rashad White, Najee Harris, Jerome Ford, Trey Benson, Nick Chubb. But then again, looking at all of these players, I think every single one of them has higher upside. Tank Bigsby, we've seen have higher upside. If Bucky Irving goes down, we know Rashad White has higher upside. If Hampton goes down, Najee has higher upside. These are all handcuffs. If James Conner goes down, Trey Benson's going to skyrocket. Nick Chubb, maybe he doesn't have as high of upside, but he is still Nick Chubb. You know? Braylon Allen, if Breece Hall goes down, we love Braylon Allen, right? So if I'm taking a running back in this area, and they're probably not starting for me anyways, they're just bench guys, I want the guy with higher upside. And if I'm doing that, I'm passing over Jacory Croskey-Merritt pretty much every time. I just don't think he has that high of upside. Now, I'm very, very aware that this is probably going to be clipped. Oh, this will be clipped if I'm wrong. If we see a Jacory Croskey-Merritt 20-point fantasy point output week one, like, look at this dude. Fantasy receipts on Twitter is going to get me for the first time ever. I could see that happening. I'll get all those super fun YouTube comments, but I'm standing on business. I'm standing on what I truly think. And I think Jacory Croskey-Merritt's going to be, his ADP is going to be way too high in terms of getting drafted way too early than I think he's worth. Even at his current point right now with Brian Robinson on the team where he was getting drafted, it's too high for me. That's my thoughts. Blake, I see your question. Let's read it. In a league with big play bonus on touchdowns over 20, 30, and 40, should I target Burrow, Daniels? Burrow led the league, and Daniels had 580 as a rookie. It's for sure Burrow. The only question with Burrow and risk with Burrow is we've seen how many hits he already took in the preseason. If Burrow plays every single game again, he's going to be outstanding in fantasy. 1, because he's a great player. 2, because he has great players around him. And 3, because their defense stinks. Like, this offense needs to average 30 points per game to win games. So, and he's got those big play receivers anyways. Who's Washington's big play threat if Terry McLaurin isn't 100%, isn't on the field? I assume he will be. But even so, in my personal opinion, and I love Jaden Daniels, he's a top 5 quarterback for me. I think he's above Burrow slightly in regular scoring leagues, season-long leagues. But I don't think he gets that much better than what we already saw. And then in terms of just big plays, you know, it's pretty obvious to me. It's definitely Joe Burrow. Only question is health. And there's nothing that really scares me off other than Cincinnati feels the need to put him out there and take a bunch of hits already, which is super fun and cool. Randy, where does Brian Robinson go? So we already talked through this, but I'll give you a really quick synopsis. Otherwise, I would go to YouTube and rewatch this back. Or maybe you can rewatch the VOD on Twitch as well. That is possible. At the current moment, obviously, before he was traded, he was going running back 31. I would assume, okay, so again, Garendo is going as running back 53. I would assume Brian Robinson's ADP falls to around this 45, 46, 47 area. Where would I take him? I would take him around 60, 58, 59, 60. So he's going to be gone by the time where I would be comfortable taking him most likely. But where does he end up going? I would say he probably ends up going around this area. But again, what's his upside? How good of a player is he? On a week-to-week basis, he has pretty much no role in my personal opinion. He's just a handcuff. He's just insurance policy. So how much stock do you want to put into an insurance policy who may not be the majority ball carrier when the top guy or if the top guy goes down? Guarendo's still there. Guarendo's still a great player. Guarendo already knows the system. Guarendo's, for my money, just at the very least, just as good of a runner, probably better than one Brian Robinson. So that is my thoughts. All right, we got the old logo here. Let's put the Yeti up. Look at that. Okay, so once again, if you have any more questions, definitely ask them before I get out of here. But let's talk about getting one of these. Championship belt. If you want to get one like this, customize your own, go to trophysmack.com. Use the promo code Flurry, Flurry, and you will also get a free ring, which is great. This is awesome. I absolutely love this belt. It even has the Flurry Sports logo there. It's got the Let's Go Wisconsin logo up here. This shit's cool. But you can't just buy a championship for yourself. You know what I mean? But you can purchase something that will put you in position to win a championship. You got to earn this thing, and that is why you need to get the draft kit, the 32-page award-winning draft kit. Go to buymeacoffee.com/Zach Brunner. Go to the link in the description of this YouTube video. Go to my Twitter @FantasyFlurry. It's shared all over, but it's a 32-page award-winning draft kit with my rankings. You can't get my rankings anywhere else right now. Sorry about it. This draft kit I believe in quite a bit. 32 pages of rankings, of tools, of stats, of analysis, things that'll help you with fantasy, things that'll help you with betting, because there's such good data in terms of advanced analytics, in terms of personnel groupings, in terms of how teams are on defense in the red zone, in terms of third down percentage, of stuff like that. It helps with kicker rankings, helps with IDP rankings quite a bit. We have a time of possession. We have a plays per game. We have all kinds of really good data, opportunity indexes in there. And we got the boom bust for all positions, including defense and kicker. All good stuff. If you're a member, you get it for free. And if you're a member, you get the sortable data files. You get in-season rankings. You get access to a group chat with me. And you can suggest more topics that you want to see in videos, in articles. And if you want new stats, different things that you want to get during the season, you let me know. I'll get it for you. It's truly a membership for you. I want to help you win, and I want to make it the best thing possible. So scan the QR code, buymeacoffee.com. If you're a member, $5 per month, $35 for the year, and that's a full 365. We're not talking about just season. That's the best deal. Or get the draft kit for $10 in the shop. That works too. That works too. We'll go out on this. Let's show that draft kit again really quick. It's too pretty not to. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Top 10 overall in season-long accuracy. Top 10 in draft accuracy. Top 5 in running back accuracy. Top 5 in wide receiver accuracy. And let me tell you, I'm coming for more this year. I'm doing IDP rankings. I am going to be going for more than top 10, more than top 5. It kind of pissed me off to get top 10, top 5. Not going to lie. And by the way, these top 5s, I think they were like 2 and 3. I was number 1 for the entire season, and then quarterbacks screwed me at the end because I took unneeded chances because I wanted to create the best rankings for you guys, and the way they measured it was a little suspect in my mind. But regardless, top 10, top 5, that is what you're getting, and we're going for number 1 this year in multiple categories. Going to be the most dominating fantasy season you've ever seen. And it starts with this draft kit. It starts with the live streams, the shows, the videos, the articles on flurrysports.org. Scrolling through this quickly, we got rankings. Look at this. Top 200 rankings. We got depth charts. We got strength of schedule, quarterback by committee, opportunity stats, all kinds of insane stuff. Did you catch that? Probably not. So go get it. Buymeacoffee.com/Zach Brunner. Link in the description, link on my Twitter at Fantasy Flurry. Go to flurrysports.org for more articles, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching the video. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. Comment any fantasy questions or where you would draft Jacory Croskey-Merritt. Please let me know. Let's foster this community. Let's build this community up, and let's have a damn good football season.